here for the first time, and well, this is actually for a good shakedown. Get the car on the road a couple times just to run it through and see if the engine would pick up correctly. Got that sorted out. So now this is the first official shakedown road test, really. See if everything's going to behave itself. We have all the instruments working, so I'll watch for temperature and a little bit of a rattle as the engine runs up through the RPMs, which in the conversation we had with Claudio, he said is normal. So hopefully normal to his ear and normal to my ear are the same frequency and tone. There's because it's transverse engine and longitudinal transmission. You have drop gears in between the engine, at the center of the engine, that transmit the power to the transmission. So you have two gears. The whine sounds like straight cut, and then you're going to have a bevel gear to change direction and have 90-degree where the transmission is introduced. So that could be the rattle. Sounds like a rattle, but it could be a very normal thing. Race cars, sound like hell when they're idling, but we all know they go like stink. So, normal rattle could be okay. So, sounds good at highway speed. We're not really hearing it, so not much of an issue. This is a good road for squeaks and rattles, twists and turns. There's a lot of bumps. You get an idea of steering, suspension compliance, suspension clearance. If you've, when we do wheels and tires on the cars, we make sure that they clear the wheel arches, of course, but a good road with a lot of bumps and undulation will give you a better idea of clearance. You find out things you just can't find out on the rack. So this road serves pretty well, and it's right along the highway, so we can do our highway run, and then we come back and do the bounce test, or you go out on the bounce test and then you come back on the highway. You get a full run of what you need. But we can't have the rogue shaming the Cizeta. Same. Wants to go, this car. He likes it. Ergonomically decent, comfortable seat, wide. decent visibility. Rear visibility, not that great, but typical exotic car. So you just suck it up and get used to it, because how fast should you be going backward anyway? So as long as you pass the car and you know you got clearance, you can merge over. At this point, this car would be, I'm convinced that I could probably turn Tony loose. Tony is our test driver for Canepa. We send the cars out for a couple 100-mile loop. As to how it did. And then, depending on his report, we have some more tweaking to do, sorting out squeaks, rattles. Then Bruce will get in the car if we're convinced we've got it. And once Bruce gets in it, you really get the list, because he's very particular. He likes the cars to be perfect. It's not just a rumor or crazy hearsay. He really, if there's one thing, he can drive a car, that's for damn sure, but he likes them to be quiet, no leaks, can't have leaks. So you will make sure that you have a car that doesn't drop anything on the ground and doesn't make any crazy noises. That's a fact. That's something that's a guarantee when you're pulling a car out of Canepa.
Before we go, we've put you into the driver's seat of the Cizeta Moroder, and if you just look outside the windows, you can see where Canepa services race cars for their clients. The interior of the Cizeta Moroder is vastly different than the 9 production models that had been produced. Everything from the door panels, the gauges, seats, the transmission tunnel, everything has been redesigned. In a future episode of VR Supercar, we'll put you into a production Cizeta V16T. And if you look around, you can see a sampling of all 9 production cars that have been built, including 1 convertible.